Good evening, and salutations to the divinity within you. The Spirit is at the center of every human being, and it is the core of every religion and belief, with the soul being the connecting link. Therefore, religion, through its interplay, should bring about the expression of the Spirit through the soul. Spirituality should be a part of the church, but many times it is not. So people say, I am spiritual, not religious. So today I'm going to talk about the difference between religion and spirituality. I'm going to put up a chart, and the chart on the left will say church. You can put religion, and on the right it's going to say spirit, which would be spirituality. The chart above gives you an outline of the religion or church on one side and spirituality on the other side. The spirit can't be seen or heard, as with most beautiful things, such as love, needs to be experienced within the spirit. It can't be seen either. We have candles in the church, but they can't burn without fire. And we have many people sitting in church that are not introduced to the Spirit because they are not moving towards it. We can sit in a garage all day, and that experience will not make us a car. In the same way, we live in the Spirit all the time, everywhere, but we are not conscious of it. The Spirit does not care if we go to church, to work, or to the beach, because it is everywhere and inside us. But happiness depends on what happens inside us, not what happens outside at the church. Actually, there is only one Spirit, one religion, and it does not matter if we go to a mosque, a synagogue, temple, or church. There's only one Spirit, one religion. This one, Spirit is spiritual. The Spirit teaches us to fly, while the church teaches us to walk and crawl towards it. But it does not matter if we go to church or not, because the Spirit is with us wherever we go. The church or religion uses authority to reach the sense-conditioned mind, to find the inward in the outward, as it brings us to God. It does this by giving a map or pecking order, which is reached by dealing with challenges, rules, and punishment, rather than accepting personal responsibility. That is why I say the church teaches us to crawl. Mysticism, or spirituality, uses spiritual experience to develop a spiritual consciousness that goes to deeper levels. Inside our consciousness, to do this, we have to take responsibility for our actions, thoughts, and conquer our fears, to let go so we can fly. Where religion brings us to God, spirituality puts us in God. The church marks out a system with boundaries of fear that Satan will get you if you go beyond what the religion is telling you. So they manipulate you with fear of the unknown. The finite minds of the authorities in the religious institutions try to limit the infinite so they can explain it with rules and commandments, while maneuvering us to walk in their direction. Jesus called these people hypocrites or Pharisees. Mysticism, or spirituality, has no boundaries and makes no lines in the sand, because the Spirit is not afraid, so can't be manipulated. We travel in outer space and look back at Earth. There are no boundaries. The boundaries are in our mind, created by our mind. The sky, the heavens, have no restrictions, limitations, or borders. So we just have to fly high enough to experience that oneness with everything. The institutions say the mystical experience is abnormal, that it is occultism, trance, visions, and other abnormal phenomena. So people become static with fear, do nothing, and go nowhere with their spirit. A lot of these people have never had the experience. So that's why they label it with negative words. Occultism, trance, abnormal phenomena. But spirituality is fed from within as we receive insights from the soul, adjust and synchronize with the spirit as it is dynamic and unforeseen energy, ideas, and inspiration. The spirit is not dogmatic with orders from a chain of command, because it is just pure being, alive with love in the present moment. We harmonize with it by being mindful of the present moment as we nurture and encourage a quiet awareness by just being ourselves and then letting our talents and abilities be expressed. Religion, on the other hand, is good to soothe our surface self as we quiet the mind with hymns, rituals, prayers, and silence, which we need to transcend the mind and experience our higher consciousness. But it is not healthy when it makes us feel guilty. When we have peace of mind and we are aware, we gravitate towards complete harmony, which is a love that leads us to unity. Religion uses authority to control the five senses and the surface self, which can be abusive psychologically and sexually. But the church can help us go inward using external stimulation, incense, songs, chanting, prayers, and ceremonies, which we learn from traditions passed down. But the spirit is neutral, requires no particular belief system, because it radiates from within and presents itself in a peaceful, loving awareness that is open and welcome to everyone in a thoughtful awareness that we are one consciousness. It illuminates our transcendental self by clearing up the past with new openings that show a path to a dynamic life of love. The church helps us find the inward in our external reality by making us go to church every week, read verses in a holy book, and do what we are told. Whereas the spirit is active where we live every moment with wonder and awe, instead of a closed path where we think we are better than others. It is not about a belief that separates us from others, but awareness and a love that brings us closer to other people, far removed from damnation. The soul doesn't demand or require a belief, doctrine, or holy book, and it does not disapprove of the use of them, of religion, tradition, or ceremonies, because it just wants to bring the spirit back into the person, or the awareness of the spirit back into the person, or back into the church. When a religion is natural, it appeals to the mind to control the body, but is unnatural when it forces the mind and body to do things instead of educating them. The spiritual realm is beyond the mind and body, so it is supernatural because it exists in the soul's consciousness. It is natural, but the mind doesn't understand it because it is beyond it. so we label it supernatural or extraordinary. Being fully present, infused with the Spirit, makes everything sacred in a deep state of love, in our natural state of being in the soul. Our soul is non-judgmental because it is beyond the mind in pure awareness, observing patterns in our life and potential patterns our mind can judge, categorize, and label things according to our sense-conditioned mind. The soul is a natural spirituality that does not filter through religion, a belief system with opinions, because it is just pure being in the present moment. It is a deeper, intuitive knowing that helps us to bring about change, where we are free to direct our energies towards what we want to become. When we allow an authority to dictate our experience, it is very difficult for us to see and understand the solution, because it is not coming from us, from inside us, from our spirit. So we just react. When we see and understand the reality of our situation, we respond, not react. So our mind is calm and can think about what is really going on around us. The boundless spirit of love is below our protective covering of the mind, where there is no hiding, judging, or noise, just a mindfulness of the present moment where everything is God. The deepest love is when we are fully present, giving our full attention to what is present. We did this when we were children, and then we identified with our mind and completely forgot our natural state of being in the soul. We can live up to our calling by allowing and being happy with the Spirit directing our lives and coloring it with the soul's essential spiritual being. The soul encompasses both the spirit and the physical, so it can present us with both eternal truth and goodness in the form of bliss. Once the bliss of the soul is realized, we live in the present and we can catch any wave in church or without religion. People don't perceive the truth and pay attention to it because they don't want their illusions to break up. Forgetting ourselves by becoming one with the eternal present, we change our priorities and time becomes eternity. It is a way of being in love where eternity meets time in the present moment. In the soul, our mind can't complicate our life because we are in or outside a religion. We have peace of mind. Love, not fear, is the sanctuary, the church, and the only temple of God, and it is our inner feeling of bliss. Thank you.